America, especially coming up from the lower levels like Advanced. That was RBG, but the Strife squad has a good core, the triple S's of Slight, Saturn, and Stamina. So there's a lot to look forward to here. We are ticking down, we are getting into it. Triumph on the CT side, Strife on the T side, and let's see if these guys are going to be in for a nice little good early period by potentially taking down Triumph and qualifying for IEM North America.
They've blown open the vents here. 60's got his knife ready. No surprises. He's going to start things off trying to farm up some cash. And the A side executes looking likely. Molotov towards the top of hut here. And it will force Beewles off the line. Looking to execute him, but delaying it out a little bit.
No way! No way! How does he get 2? Or he gets 1.5, doesn't matter. It's just a mop-up for Triumph there. Exceed gets himself 3. And that's a good sign for Triumph, too, because Exceed was a little bit quiet in the last series against Team 1. So if there's one guy you want to see on Triumph popping off, that would be Exceed. He adds a whole nother level of depth, but 60 up to his usual antics. Getting the knife kill in vents on the pistol round, almost getting himself a second. That's kind of what you expect from this new-look Triumph squad.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite a telegraphed vent drop as well. They threw that smoke early on, and you could tell that 60 was just so prepared for that. Now, look, he's got everything he could ask for. There's only one kill going back, and that's going to be a touchdown grenade. The nade to finish it off. There is one slip in the cap there. Stamina close by. George holds down the line, but he's got some backup here. And it's a flawless round for Triumph in the second. I have just noticed that we actually got Mind Trick, the coach, standing in for Joel's at the moment. So, maybe that was partially the issue with that tech pause. Might need the coach to sub in for a little bit, I imagine, for Strife. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be a long-term thing, but something to keep in mind here.
Hopefully not a long-term thing for Strife. I mean, you'd want your full roster in there, especially with the stakes here in this matchup. 1 BO3 to either move on or go home. There's no other option besides to win or lose, and they obviously want to be in the win column here, as do Triumph, but let's see if they can make do with the coach in hand. Mind Tricks, when you throw the smoke wall, at least the initial smoke out towards red box, you can cross early on. 60's in a good spot towards coat room, though he gets peeked early. And that's a little over-aggression there from Slight. Stamina, though, working towards credit cards. Might try and flank in towards 60. Saturn's here holding at range as well, but nothing really going back and forth, aside from that opening pick. Strife, they have secret control, but they're so telegraphed here. They need a kill or two to really open things up, or else they're just going to get mowed down. That's a good opening. B-Will's in towards Mini, but Exceed is back for the trade. This time onto Austin. He's still lurking around in towards Garage. In comes Hate 2 from Mini, and Saturn is now running for the hills, down in towards the tunnels. But is he just going to fake this?
Oh, patiently waiting. Lets him walk right into his crosshair. Now Mind Trick's left last alive, and he doesn't check above him. Now he has slipped around towards hut. There's a little bit of trigger discipline. Oh, no. Maybe held on to that trigger for too long there. Is trying to take a third, and you can see the suffocating style that they're going for. One man falls in towards Mini. There's just another man right behind him in Triumph. They do not let off the gas in that outer yard aggression, and then Exceed playing that big garage position to perfection to lock that one in for Triumph. Really solid stuff right there. The trades are looking good, and I mean, if we see more of this, Strife are going to struggle to get into their own map pick.
Hopefully this doesn't cause any internal strife early on the T-side roster. They need to keep their cool, they need to keep calm, and just try and think through this rationally. This Triumph squad, when allowed to play their own game style, is so oppressive. It really does suck the air out of the room. It suffocates you, and it leaves you with no real option. In comes a nice molly from George. He'll get 1, 2, maybe a third, fourth, or fifth as the molly bird's down 2. He's not going to get the ace, but he's going to have himself a barbecue restaurant after that one. 4-0 for Triumph into the 4K from George. And George has definitely become a player on Triumph who, before this season, I wasn't really too sure what to expect. I had no real information on him, but he's really becoming a bit of a favorite in my mind. Someone who's always there to anchor, similar to like Spongy in that regard. He'll play the spots that nobody really wants to play necessarily, but he'll do a darn good job of holding things down. He's also a bit of an entry can opener too when it comes to at least Inferno B-sides.
Yeah, we've seen him a lot of times. Yesterday he was kind of the saving grace over on the Triumph roster versus Team 1 when they were really slow to start. He was the one cracking those bomb sites open, and now Exceed with this hyper aggression towards outer yard. Catches some stamina there, but won't get the frag, and we'll bow on out of this one. Now, the adjustment being made is to continue this big Ross position, but I don't see much of a commitment. Stamina gets caught with his nade out. Luckily, catches a dink right back, but it's only 20 damage onto Exceed, so it's no harm, no foul. And they're just not letting off the gas in this out-of-yard aggression. They're sitting one up towards Secret, and they have Exceed on top of Unbreakable, so great positions coming through from the CT side.
Oh, it's 60 to open things up again. Exceed just outside of that smokes it fades. He'll catch Austin off, and that's the bomb. Nice double openings for Triumph here as Strife are reeling early on once again. Exceed hears that drop of stamina off the mini, and he will capitalize nicely. Saturn and Coach Mind Tricks, the last alive, spread out, and without much utility, just a single flash and a nade to work off of, and not a lot of map control. Not to mention, they don't have the objective. B-Will's aggressive, and Exceed swings for the last. That's his second or third 3K here already in the early going. And Triumph, another flawless round. If I'm not mistaken, that is their fourth or third flawless round at the very least. And well, 3 kills in round 5. Look at those stats. 282
Jeez.
damage with an average ADR of 129 so far. Definitely an impact player so far this game. And that's an Exceed we didn't see yesterday. An Exceed for Triumph, if he shows up like this, that turns this team into a contender for pretty much anything. You have George fragging out well. 60's always going to perform. Beewles is always going to perform. What more do you need?
I can't really tell you. You got everyone stepping up to the plate, and you can see it in the scoreline right now. Strife have only been able to muster 2 kills so far versus this Triumph roster. I mean, you have 3 players still on 0 deaths, and George and Exceed, it's not like they haven't been taking much fights here. We have both of them having huge multi-kill rounds, and Strife, this one doesn't look any better for you. You only got pistols to work with. You can start looking too well, and I don't know if it's partially just not having the full roster, but it just doesn't look like anything's working. I mean, even in that last round, you saw that Slight was so close with the op to finding Exceed on top of that unbreakable box, but then 60 threw a Molotov, kills him before he can clear that position, and on top of that, Exceed's able to frag off the back of that. So they're playing off each other really nice on Nuke, and if this continues, Strife are just going to get nothing started.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were expecting Stripe to do quite good on this map, it being their map pick, and then having a decent result against Gods and only losing by 4 rounds there. Exceed only getting 1 is a little bit concerning. Mind Tricks has an opportunity on the B-Wolves too. This is where the tide can turn. He holds his line. He does not panic. George, however, taps another down, bringing it to a 3v2, but he is down on 4 HP, so we will have to tuck tail and run. Mind Tricks has the upgrade of the AK, might toss it over to Slight. Will not just yet, but Slight's stomping around like an elephant in towards back halls, and eventually they're going to get queued into this positioning. George, he's in a bit of a one and done, but he has 60 there to back him up. Who's watching the first? He'll have the first cross, and now Slight, he'll grab the AK, he'll run up the vents, but it's all being telegraphed again. So much noise. Time is gone. It's going to be a 6-0 start for Triumph. And, well, they did get 2 kills this time, Strife. It's better than it has been. They double their total kill count in 1 round. But at the point it's round number 6, that's not exactly a good thing.
It's not a good thing, and look at the money on the CT side. It's far, far out of control right now. I mean, you've got 2 players nearing max money, 3 above 10k. You really got to get a handle on this Strife. You need to, at the very least, start finding some kills here, making these rounds expensive if you're not going to pick them up. But what's the adjustment that's going to be made here? Slight, he's going for an opener towards ramp room. George hasn't even upgraded off that from Oz. He's perfectly fine with it. He'll take it for another round here, take it for another spin, and see if he overextends his welcome here. Pixelingo being held, and as soon as he sees Slight, I think he'll just get that Molotov down.
I like Stamina's work out here towards the yard. He's getting a lot of information, he's getting a lot of space, and he's drawing a lot of attention here away from the bulk of his team congregated in towards the lobby. Does have Saturn up on top of Silo too, but there's a good nade there to do some damage onto the ramp players. And Exceed's coming up. He'll catch Stamina off guard, surely. There's the opening kill. And again, try and start things off 1 up. I think they are going to collapse on ramp though, but George is still in a good spot. He only has a flashbang left in terms of utility, though. But if he gets 2 kills here, even 1 in damage, it's definitely a win for him. But he's going to back further down the ramp as Strife continue to hold their line and group up for this take. 60's rotated in towards L, and he's got this one on lock. Surely no utility in, and actually George's going to throw his flashbang. A Molotov comes out to help his teammate, and now they're going to have to run forward into the waiting jaws of the beast. George with a headshot. Back they go to A, and into the waiting arms of Hate and Co. They actually might just save this one again. again, Cole. There's no entry. There's no option. It is walled off. And now Hate's going to go aggro. George is going to aggress. And that's the round.
I'm starting to worry here for Strife. You can't keep losing in this fashion. I mean, nothing is working. Nothing at all. You can see that ramp aggression. Perfect reposition from 60. Out of the outer yard, in towards the ramp room. And they play off each other so nicely as well. You can see that George, all he had to do was hold down one angle. They're safe on the T side comes through. I mean, you're bringing this AK into the next round, but you're not even getting kills with it. One frag towards the tail end from Strife in that round, and it was full investments. It was AKs, it was ops being brought out, everything you could ask for, and nothing comes of it. I mean, it's their coach. Mind tricks right now. He's topping the charts, and it's only with 2 kills.
And he could have had at least a third with that kill onto Hut. What was it, round number 4?
Yeah, he could have had a third. It's very true.
And they're going to go towards outer yard again. 60's going to rotate out with the op, drops behind the AC vents, and drops Saturn. Make it not a second as Austin and Stamina will get 2 of their own. 60 though still holding the line, goes back for more. He's looking for thirds, he's already double dipped. B Will swinging around, spamming through the smoke. Will tuck away, but Mind Tricks finishes him off. In they go towards the A site, the bomb yet to be recovered, but 60 is still watching. He knows where one is. Slight will close the gap, and George, he's going to have to rotate up as well. He has been one of those 2 grateful fraggers so far for Triumph, and he's got an opportunity onto Austin. He does get spotted, though. He will have to run. He'll drop the smoke and hold out. Molotov extinguished in that smoke grenade. The bomb still outside Secret, and 60 waiting for it. He takes the shot just a tad too early. Good patience there by Austin, as the time is still on the side of Strife. 53 seconds to go, and they'll work their way down into the secret tunnels. They have A control, but I think they like their chances on B. But George on the stairwell, in that headshot angle, if he catches the timing right, will be a hard player to get past. He's going to go up towards control room instead. It's all going to come down to the timing here. They're going to make noise. They're going to go back towards A. It's going to be signaled. 60 spots out the first and the second. Mind Tricks is gone, and George going to rotate up the last 2 hide back silos and tuck and hold. There's a nade for George, and that could dunk. 60 though taken down. AK for George coming into the 1v2.
Not likely situation here, Austin. He's taken down low. First player's taken down now. It's a 1v1. Austin left to fight off against the world here. Needs this round. It's necessary. Can't give this one up, and he's just holding the angle. Okay, good. Closer right there. Much needed. Strife finally on the board after long last, but will it matter here in terms of economy? Not quite. So much money in the pockets here of Triumph. Not to worry for a long while, and again, I think we're kind of seeing similar signs to whenever Triumph are starting to feel comfortable. They do kind of fall into some interesting ways. A little bit of overextension going towards the outer yard, but I don't blame them for it as well. It's been working out all match, and trying for it more doesn't surprise me at all. Just in this one, doesn't work out how they were hoping. And now another Vince drop coming through here, looks likely. Maybe an A-side explosion, and Exceed's just going to hold the line for 2, has some help from Hate. And this gets trampled at the inbound here. They can't even get their way out of the hut, out of Squeaky Door. They're going to readjust towards ramp.
The one silver lining is the fact that the bomb does not go out early, so it is not lost. George is coming through. He'll take a little bit of fire damage, but he'll just retreat. Concede this take for now, and the rest of the Triumph squad in this 4v2 retake will convene down towards the B site. Slight still working around, hearing a little bit of noise down towards vents. Spots out one, 60 gun, or utility out rather. Gonna get caught, pants down. Stamina walks into B Wills. Will they discover this, or are they don't know this? They don't notice? Hello? What? That is peculiar, to say the least. But Slight's in a 1v1. Or 1v2, excuse me. This is a winnable 1v1 now as he catches George from behind. And B-Wills, he'll molly off double doors, tap the bomb, fake it, but the time is dwindling. B-Wills needs the kill. He knows where he is now, but he has to hold. Slight has played this perfectly. B-Wills hits the shot, but it don't matter. No time, and Strife, 2 rounds in a row. Better late than never, and Triumph still haven't gotten to that 8th round yet, so Strife have a chance to bring this considerably closer than we might have thought at 7-0.
Yeah, that was a 2v4 as well right there for Strife. So the fact that they're able to convert that, especially with how that round was starting off, maybe some frustration could kick in early for Triumph, and they can fight their way right back into this one. I mean, the CT side economy, I talked about it getting out of control, but once you start to win a couple rounds in a row, it very quickly becomes a problem. You can tell that they've already almost gotten toppled here. It's not looking good for much longer if they keep on dropping these rounds. But, I mean, still, they should have at least another bye after this one. We'll see if they can get this streak continuing. Strife seemingly heading towards the outer yard. At least they have a lurk in that position. And Exceed going back to where Triumph have worked out quite a bit towards that secret room.
George has to be careful. Slight's positioned again, boosted up. George not going to jiggle too far. There he goes, and he baits up the shot. That's enough for him to send out smoke and wall off trophy. Send some shots down as well, but nobody's going to get plucked. Strife burning down a lot of clock early on, 105 to go. They've really taken no real control. They have revealed themselves towards ramp. Slight will now get boosted up towards garage, but the only player towards the outer yard area is going to be Exceed in secret stairs. And this is a position he's shown to have some success early on today. They have to expect him here, though. He's been too hard of a player to deal with so far. They have no utility to deal with him, though. They only have flashbangs, and those flashes aren't even necessarily close. There's no mollies, there's no nades, there's no smokes. This is prime Exceed farm territory. 33, 32, 31 on the clock. The clock is so low, and Slide's going to get caught off guard. Exceed just pops, he tucks back down. Hate trades out Mind Tricks, who is doing some good work here, trying to get some space for Strife, but they need more. They need more players to frag out. Saturn and Austin provide. And now there's another one from Stamina. George has to rotate up. He's the last alive. And it's going to be a round for Strife, I do believe, because I don't think George wants to contest this all too much. 1v3, and Stamina's here close at guard and garage. And he'll finish the job. Spray away. And Strife, they might have lost 2 players early on, but they are dealing with the adversity quite well in these last few rounds. Their first round was, what, a 2v4? This one's a 3v5. Strife are starting to deal with the tournament. They're starting to deal with those disadvantages and make good rounds happen off of the back of it.
Certainly are, and I feel like it does come as a result of some of these missed op shots from 60 that are causing a little bit of chaos, and some mistakes coming through from him specifically here. I think he's getting caught off guard quite a bit with that AWP. He had a chance to find that frag on the Mind Tricks, and it would have maintained a pretty healthy advantage, and I mean, that right there as well. I mean, I don't know what you think about him on the op, but I very much like him as a secondary. I don't know how much he's able to do as a primary. He's very flashy. He can get good opening frags. You've seen that yesterday, but sometimes he misses some of those easy-to-hit shots that are really required in a primary opper, and right now it's kind of getting the better of him. Mind Tricks, he'll be bested by Hate, though, and this is a very winnable round, especially with George in his current position.
Look at the health. 5 and 12 on Stamina and Slight, respectively. This is disaster territory right now. Hate's going to rotate up and counter this so well. He's going to catch off one. That was the lowest HP player of Slight, but they think he spotted another 2. Molotov will reveal more positioning. George can rotate up. The bomb's going to get planted for George as he walks in through mini. Hate might group up. Stamina forces the issue, and he's punished. In comes Saturn. He's gotten a lot of damage taken and dealt some in return. A lineup comes through, though, and well, Hate's actually going to kill his teammate. So there is a more economic damage going back for Strife. The op will finally be recovered. The EQ decided it didn't want to work right there for Hate, but he's going to win the round with ease. The team kill, probably going to be a little rough in terms of economy next round, but overall, I think Triumph will be happy with finally getting their 8th on the board. And Strife, Stamina, and Saturn are going to be a little low in terms of their buy, too. They cannot afford full armor in the AK. They'll probably relegate Stamina to Pistol or Mac 10 to get that utility up. Maybe go for a ramp rush, vent dive, something fast with that close-range weaponry. And perhaps the call is actually something more conservative here. They're going for a half buy. I respect this call, but at 8-3, it is a little risky.
Yeah, I mean, talk a lot about those benchmark rounds, the things that you're looking for on Nuke, and 6, giving yourself 6 on the T side, it's very, very manageable. Even a 10-5 half, you can still work around heading into your CT side of Nuke for Strife, and honestly, credit to them for not bowing out of this game too early on, because it has to be frustrating that current start when they were 7-0 and nothing was working. Now an A side pop's coming through. E-Will's left to meet the defense. They just line up so perfectly for him. Back a silo. He makes it look so easy, not even breaking a sweat at the moment. The flash being set up from Triumph as well to peek towards Squeaky Door. They got bomb in their hands, and it's only a matter of time before this one gets swiped away. Exceed actually is able to, rather Slide is actually able to find Exceed, and it's a rifle retrieve, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be much else. And it's not.
George will not be able to upgrade from the MP9, so he'll be stuck on the SMG. Exceed will reinvest and presumably be dropped something. M4 into his hands. Triumph, though, that round looked a lot more like the Triumph of the beginning of this half. Clean, only one casualty in that, just a little overzealous. I think Triumph got a little too aggro, a little too loosey-goosey. I think they learned their lesson after those 3 whoopings by Strife. This is a Triumph that looks a little more consolidated now. They're not going to go too hyper aggro. As I say, that Exceed's going to walk right into the open op scope, which is... I'm not so sure why he wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, door gets blown open. Maybe, I don't know. They did save last round, so I would expect them to know that the economy's there. Good flash being set up for 60. He doesn't seem to be scared off by it at all, though. He continues this aggression towards the outer yard. And he's trying to make a proactive play in this 4v5, you can tell. Flashed off the angle once again, gives up his position. And it just is Strife maintaining this slow play style here. Sight's now been boosted up. We've seen him in this position a couple of times. And 60, he's really trying to avoid this out. He's going to readjust after shooting towards the outer yard into a totally different position to try and keep Strife on their toes.
Look at this double hut. There's a lot of information for Triumph right now. Nobody's really ready for this on Strife. George is pushing through Trophy as well. Mindtrix is going to get stabbed in the back here. They know exactly where he is. He's been chased down to 40 HP, but he's going to be able to get around the other corner and take out B-Will's. Not too shabby, coach. Good work right there. And now 60's getting mowed down by Austin. Hate trades, but Stamina's here for the refrag. Hits the headshot, leaving it all down to George. In the 1v3, bomb not yet planted, but George might have other ideas in this round here, Cole. I think he might just try and get himself an exit and then go for a save.
He's just made a sound cue there. That'll give up the noise. That'll give up the game here. He's heading in towards heaven, so it does look like he's still pressuring this one. Saturn just hyper-focused on this position, though knows exactly where he's coming from. All angles are covered here for Strife, and as soon as George peeks his head around this corner, Saturn should have him dead to right. He's overextending there, and I mean, you get dinked down, you just got to run away.
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to do on 20 HP? I'm not sure, but we'll go for it either way. And it's Strife making that benchmark 6 rounds look like a possibility right now.
Very much so, especially given Triumph's economic situation. I don't think they'll buy too much here. Maybe some pistols tossed around. Exceed will be gifted a deagle. 60 and Hate will pick those up as well. Make it 5 deagles for a deco coming out here from Triumph. Maybe some play grouped up towards outer yard or ramp. Something cheeky to try and win this round. But overall, this one will not have too much venom behind it unless the deagles of Triumph can live up to some reputation which they have well deserved. But Strife, they're starting to play really well themselves, and well, 60, he's dealt with early by Austin. A lot of this is going to rest on the shoulders of B-Wills as they push into the smoke. He spotted out one outside, takes 2 shots to connect it, but Saturn's gone. It's a rifle to be salvaged, potentially for Hate. Oh, he has the armor too. That's a good pickup right there. And now there's a bit of zoning here for Strife. They're stuck in towards ramp room, and Hate's going to work in through lobby with the AK in hand. The Deagles are holding them at bay. Slight spotted out by George, who will just tuck away and run. They got the information. They're just waiting for Strife to push. The time is dwindling down. And the positioning for Triumph is getting better and better as time dwindles off. Great Molotov. Austin's so low. And George is still going to toy with them. The bomb's going to cross. It's going to get planted. Attempted to anyway. Back silo. Little open for the double doors. Might be trying to bait out the peak. It will not work yet. They're waiting for Hate. He is the linchpin in this retake. He's still working in through ramp room. And if he gets this opening duel, which he does, that's the green light for the Triumph retake.
They're going to kick things off here. Good post plants, though, coming through from the T side. A lot of these angles covered. Back of silo as well. Need to find him soon. Austin is going to be the game changer right now. He's the only man in position to really get multi-frag, and I say that. He doesn't get a single one. Slight's now good for the single, but it's just the coach here. Left last alive, and they're closing in. It's going to tap the head off, but look at this. I don't know if they have time. They don't.
I don't believe they do.
Just forced to run away.
I will say, though, they decimate Strife's economy. They keep 2 guns into this next round. Considering what they went in with, that is a very good deco. 1 vest, 5 deagles, minimal utility. you know, that's all you can really ask for. They could have gotten the bomb defuse if they had a kit, but the positioning from Strife, I think, was a little too strong for them to be able to get that done without one. Strong buy, though, from Triumph.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good buy from Triumph. The good news for Strife here is that despite that economic damage done towards the tail end, it is last round of the half, so not much of a worry of building up some banks. Saturn, very aggressive on that peak, actually comes out the better end of it. As you can see, B-Will's going for that spam, taking down low. 60, once again, caught off guard towards the outer yard right there.
Stamina?
Could trade one for one, I guess, but again, some of these positions we talk about with the primary up, he's still got some growing pains to get forward to, because a lot of the time he's been playing as that secondary. Once he picks up the mantle, got some learning to do. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and I question that. I question both kills and their effectiveness, to be completely honest with you. George, however, will get himself a nice off kill, make it a double. Looking for a third, goes back to the rifle, and Tuck's tail dips out towards heaven. The damage onto Slight and Mindtrix is significant. 80 HP between the two players now left. This would be a miracle round for them to be able to pull back. They've done it before, but Triumph were a little over-aggressive then. I don't think we're going to get the same Triumph now. They want that 10th round on the CT side. Pistol round will put them well on their way to taking their opponent's map pick and go into Overpass, a map which Strife, let's just say they have a little bit of adversity on 0-3 record.
Yeah, you could say that for sure. Now they're having a little adversity on this map, though, as well. Pushing out towards fence. I mean, Hate's got this one locked in. Double headshot as well. He's able to transfer onto the second lightning quick. And we end 10-5, so we will be heading into a short break. We'll be back with the second half of play hereafter.
now, why you want to wait? Running out of words you wanna say. I've been looking for you, looking for you, looking for you. Take me down, leave me lost and found. Take me down.
Here we are, folks, finally back with the second half, and it looks like Joel's is back in the server for Strife. No longer will they have to play with the coach, an admirable effort by the head of the squad, but they have their full 5 back in the server, Cole. Let's see if Joel's can make a difference.
Oh, they sure do get all 5 of those players in there. And actually, I'm not sure where exactly their coach was playing from, so I don't know how much ping he was rocking with. Either way, we got an A-side explosion. I think that slight's going to go for a kill or 2, maybe try and put it into a 4v5. But if you take a look at your mini-map, there's a stack towards ramp, and so that bomb plant will come through pretty easily. And it will be a retake situation here with a couple flashbangs, that one-way smoke towards heaven, it looks like, or other, and towards squeaky door, and they'll all just pop out here.
Great flashbang to kick it off, but Saturn will get traded out. Exceeds coming in from ramp on the flank. Does a lot of damage from behind. Stamina, though, pops the head, but B-Wills has 2 more. 2v3 in the favor of Triumph here, but Stamina. He's still on the hunt. He's tapped the bomb, but Zixie's better on the draw. They're all congregated up, and Zixie with 2 in the end. Means it's Triumph with 11, Strife still on 5. And only 5 rounds away are Triumph from taking this map, the pick of Strife, and heading on to Overpass. Winner of this BO3, they make it to the RMR event. They make it to IEM Fall North America. There's a lot on the line.
Sure do. Big deal here. Big names again. Chances to play the big teams in A. They're back here for some more action, more RMR action. So not a lot of chances to get to play teams like Liquid here and Furia, as they spend a lot of their time over in Europe. So you got to get those matches in while you can here, and there's a short stint of time, as we're going to see a force bite counteract this pistol round victory and boosted up E-Wills on top of this big red box, and it's good for a frag. He's going to take down Slight, put it into a 4v5 here, and cause a little bit of chaos. As you can see, the rotations have arrived.
I do like that deeper smoke wall in towards mini side too, closer
Yeah.
to Unbreakable in the mini entrance. It really makes it so the pistols can't lurk around there very close, so it's a lot easier to clear. Good read there by the Triumph squad. Hate only able to get 1 as Saturn will trade him out, and maybe a chance for 2 as George fiddles with that door. He'll go back, and Saturn is met with a bunch of bullets, finished off by Exceed, and now Austin, carrying my namesake, will be in a 1v4 and see if he can manage much here. Just a deagle and armor and a flashbang up through the vents. Maybe 1 kill, potentially a second, but I don't think he can hope for too much more than that.
I don't think so. It is funny to see how quickly teams adopt these new metas. And it's almost like a little plague there. You see one person throw that extra wall of smoke that's more extended towards Big Crush, as Austin will go back down the vents. But then all of a sudden, it's every team doing it. And it's for good reason. It's just so much better than those 1 and 2 smokes that you see that you cross towards secret with. You kind of nailed it perfectly with how the pistols can really lurk around it, cause some chaos. It just opens up the map, causes a lot less clutter and a lot less fear to be setting in, and trying to use it really well to win that one.
And it's harder to boost over too.
Very true. Got hate on the MAC-10 duty, though. I think he's going to go for some aggressive plays and try and maybe gather some information. But all of them out towards the outer yard. They're kind of wrapping in towards heaven.
I like the heaven wrap here. Hate's going to lead the charge. Maybe clears angles. Yes, he does. Catches off the first. Gonna get caught up by Austin in return, however. But Exceed is here for the mop-up duty. He'll get himself a Hattie. And, well, Joel's... what can he muster with a P250 in hand? Exceed could be one tapped here, especially close. And Joel's will connect the damage, takes a bit of his own, but it's going to be an AK diving down into B site, which is going to be attempted to be saved by Joel's. There's going to be a hunt, though, surely. They want that gun back in their hands. They do not want to give it over to Free for Strife. Well, this could become costly, too, as Joel's can deal some significant damage here. They got a good idea where he is, though. The double swing works out. He splits the goalpost, kicks a field goal. But those 3 points don't equal a kill. 13-5. Triumph up over Strife. The first gun run coming in from Strife, and Triumph will have full rifles to counter this.
Got a really good buy roll in here for Strife, though. A good chance to get the ball moving on that CT side. Can be the game changer. They got Joel's back in here as well, so they're rocking with the full roster. We've already talked about that. How that is kind of the main priority, is that they didn't have to deal with those slotting ins and the outs, and already having to deal with that because of a little bit of lag. Could have set some early frustration, but now this is your chance to wipe all of that frustration away. Get rid of those sorrows as they look to fend off against what is likely going to be an A-side execute lining up right now for Triumph. You can see that they're gearing up for maybe a nice little execute, maybe a explosion on towards this A-bomb site. We're trying to wait to see here, but finally they're going to start to make their moves.
Well, they're going to move into their own death. The Molotov does a good chunk of damage, however. Saturn and Joel's both singed, not quite to a crisp, but 6 EMB wills. We'll send 2 to the crematorium. Up comes Stamina through the vents. We will trade out here. Messy duel. And Hate will trade Slight now on 14 HP. He's going to jump down and fall away. He might just attempt to save this op, but the bomb is yet to cross the site. There's an opportunity for Slight, but down the vents they go. I believe he's heard the noise, though, so he's going to be hot on their heels, it appears. There's not a lot of margin for error for Strife. There's not a lot of health for their opper. I don't think he'll stay over long, though. If he misses a shot, he might just try and bail.
Chance on the Hate. Oh, that's so fast here. Now Last is posted up towards Secret. George just waiting for his time to strike. 14 HP onto Slight. Not much to work off of here, and Slight hasn't committed to that double door peek. Now he's running out of time. You can see that he doesn't have a kit to work off of. He's not going to be able to pick up a kit either. He's just going to run out of time. He's fallen off of the line, and it will be a 14 nonetheless, despite those nice shots hit from Slight, despite the fiery flicks. It's not enough to fend off, and right there it started off with a good 4v5, but that A-side pop that came through out of the squeaky door, they kind of just commit to it on the Triumph roster. They're able to force their way out, even despite that player top of hut. There was no molly, and I was going to knock Triumph off that, but they still are able to recover the round, despite some of those small details on that execute being lacking.
And I think that's a bit of a problem Triumph have, too. They can get away with so much just because of the raw aim they possess that sometimes they don't entirely cross all those T's and dot all those I's, and they're still able to win against teams with it. So for them, I feel like if they were pressed a little harder, this team would become exponentially more dangerous than they already are, just based off of the fact that they would have that tactical depth and that consistency that they would need. George, speaking of, gets caught through a smoke, so Triumph are going to be down here early on. And Strife are going to set themselves up with a last-ditch buy to try and stave off that 15-5, which, as Taco said, of course not. 16-5.
Very true. Never heard of wiser words. As we're going to see readjustment back towards this A set of things. They do a little weapon toss around here. Exceed's going to pick up the MAC-10. He's lining up an interesting bit of utility here from the squeaky door. Once you swing that one open, I think this is for some Molotov or something, but he gets himself posted up in this position. This is 2 rounds in a row, and just waiting out maybe a mistake from Strife that's just not coming. And again, an A-side pops going to roll on out here. And again, no top putt Molotov. That should really cause some chaos.
Or maybe just stamina alone can cause all the chaos they need. So much damage he does. A kill too. And they're going to run right back to Austin. MP9 in hand. Does more damage, not quite a kill. Slight, though, needs to land these shots. At least one on the opening does connect that. The bomb, it drops, unfortunately, over the rail. But B-Wills has some other ideas here. I like 60's position, too. He knows where Joel's is, but Joel's wins that duel. It's all down to B-Wills, but he is this heavy hitter for the Triumph squad. Time is dwindling. It is fast and fleeting. No time for B-Wills, and Joel's will shut it down. 6 rounds for Strife. A necessary round to win there. And Triumph, they can reinvest here heavily, especially if Exceed and Georgia drop something. There they go, AKs coming in across the board. And Strife's still a little worse for wear in terms of economy. No big green gun for either side. The utility, though, strong for Strife.
If you take a look at how that last round started for Triumph, it's really impressive that they were able to call it back into a 2v2, and very quickly it came to 2v0, but they did good damage towards the tail end despite not winning the round. That's huge for them. You try and keep things up, try and close things out. Because they've got a couple players in the outer yard to worry about. A touchdown grenade comes out as well. You have to be careful for this position coming through from Slight. He's going to be the game changer in this round. We'll see if he gets clear. He's going to peek off the flashbang. He's good for the first and he dives out, but he's not able to get around the corner just yet. Hate's going for the spam here. He sticks around for longer. Exceed's going to run through the smoke and we'll find the 1-for-1.
Slow now will be the play from Triumph, is they have the 4v4, but where do they want to end? They've telegraphed quite a bit here. There's 2 players over towards B from Strife. Of course, Triumph don't know that. But it still is a good setup from Strife in this scenario, and Triumph, they will eventually have to make a move. I do like the opportunity to go in for this garage play, especially if they're able to clear off stamina, but Saturn gets aggressive. And now George on the ace split's going to get shut down. Stamina gets one. Austin has another. And Stamina with the last, cleaning things up. The crossfires from Strife are strong. And Triumph, they stalled out in the middle of that round. They couldn't get the engine going again. Couldn't get out and push because then they got shot. Strife got that deficit to 7 rounds.
Stamina's got some of the best BM. He's always body spamming every chance he can get. Love that. Make sure you really rub that one in, especially when you're down 7 rounds. You know, when your opponent's got double your score. What else do you got other than some nice BM whenever you get the chance? You got to get it in here and there. As maybe there's another chance to get it around here for Strife. They've got only pistols here. Not much. I mean, a couple Deagles. A Glock and a P250. No armor to back this one up either. So a real shot here for comeback to mount. Still a long road ahead for this Strife roster.
Look at this B control from Triumph. They have all the tunnels in their hands. Exceed can walk out onto the B site. There's 1 player there. It's Austin down towards ramp room. But even then, the bomb can go down for free for Triumph, and that's a victory in and of itself. Austin could get caught out too, especially if somebody comes up from behind. He's heard the glass break now. He has to be wary and nervous. Exceed walks up and falls, but the bomb can stroll on out and plant on B. Hate's going to be next in line on the 1-and-1-and-1 swing. B-Will's caught off by Saturn, but the bomb is down, and 60 may give another gift of death of 2 before he falls eventually. Just some damage, leaving it all to George, but again, the bomb plant was what they wanted. It's what they got. Everything else is just a little bit of economic damage.
Oh, Saturn playing it so carefully right there, not overextending. So it will be a flawless round for Strife. They'll keep all 5 guns, but like you mentioned, that bomb plant was mission number 1 there for Strife, or rather Triumph, and they do succeed. So they will get a really, really good gun round. All the utility, even an op in the hands of 60 if they so choose, although T's out of Nuke. You don't really want to be going for those all that often unless you're super dedicated.
And I would honestly say he's more valuable in the rifle.
Yeah, me as well. That's another thing about the 60 main op is that he is very capable of it. But on the rifle, he's so dang good. So it makes you wonder, you know, is that risk worth it? Obviously, he's got some impressive showcasing on it. He is very comfortable with it. But look at this lobby crunch. It's getting pattered down here, but it will be stamina to put the man advantage back into their favor. He takes a hefty bit of fire because of it, but he's gathered that control, and so that's a small victory there. Slight missing an op shot towards the outer yard, though. Exceed's going to find the trade and put it into a 3v3 with stamina low on HP. That's a huge find right there from Exceed.
There's 2 Molotovs up for Triumph, two flashbangs as well, and Stamina might walk right into Exceed.
Oh.
That's a free kill for him. He will not miss that. And now the spread Strife roster. How are they going to counter this? Saturn, the one guy closest to A, is working right into Exceed, who's just going to continue to farm here. And the last remaining player of Austin is down on B in the lower site. The bomb's going to go down upper. Although there is enough money for Strife to go for this, Austin's going to be hard-pressed to figure this one out. A nade and a smoke is all he has to work with. Exceed probably won't be able to get caught out by the nade either, so it's going to be the gun that has to do the job for Austin, and even then, it's not a very likely scenario. He might just hide.
Yeah, I mean, money's sort of becoming a non-factor here, as when Triumph hit 15, it's pretty much going to be required flawless rounds for Strife from here on out, as it will be 7 in a row, and at the very best, then you're looking at overtime. And it does seem like Nuke, it's kind of fallen at the wayside here. And it was all of the result of that first half and then losing that pistol round. You stand down the barrel of a 13-5 comeback. It's just so hard to get yourself back into it, and especially with players like Exceed, top in the charts, and B-Wills. I mean, once you have those two getting activated, sky can be the limit here, and that's kind of the case. Strife are really struggling on their own map pick.
They really are, and knowing what's up next is Overpass. It's not a good map for Strife. I really worry for them here in this best of 3. They got their map pick first. This was their opportunity to basically secure a third, and for Strife, there really hasn't been too much of an answer here. They've only got 3 rounds of the CT side. Slight's been chunked down massively, and Exceed's now on the prowl again. Stamina in towards credit card. Don't know if that card's going to decline for him. He does run into Exceed, though, and win that duel. So that's something good to be said for Strife. But 6E, he has that op. And I honestly wonder if this is going to be a bit of a curse for Triumph in this round, as that rifle now seems a little more valuable in this 4v5, especially on T-side Nuke. Let's see if Strife want to give anything over to 6E2. That's the thing. The op on T requires some overpeaks, and Strife haven't been prone to do that.
Yeah, one thing is, though, they have snuck their way out of the squeaky. B-Wills, he's taking a little bit of flack here, but Jules gives up his position. They're boosting above the smoke as well, so this is going to be a sure kill here. Jules isn't going to expect this one. Luckily, he doesn't decide to commit to it. That is
I think he made a
huge.
sound.
Oh, he's been mollied off now. They're going to hold the angle, and there you go. 6E's up on the T side. Is able to have some impact here early on. They still got that boost coming out, but Austin just ventilates it, takes it down. He is going to take some more fire here. We'll be taken down eventually. They know where Stamina is. Locked in towards Mini. 6E's good for another, and it's just Slight on 6 HP. Last alive up against the world here in the molly. Gets a little bit of a misbounce. It might not even matter, though, as they are just going to dive down vents and call it a day. B-bomb site set into the crosshairs, and Triumph on their way to a map 1 victory.
Bomb going down, and Slide's on 6 HP. He'll need some serious sleight of hand to pull this one off. He gets a tag onto George. Can he land the frag here? He's looking to put George in a body bag, but it might be him who's left to hang. Slight. Flashed, but not really. Spots the elbow. Takes another shot, but Hate should be able to pop from radio. Not going to over-aggress here. Slight closing the gap, but time is fleeting. No kit for the Opper. He has to make a move. He has to force the issue. He has to go now.
George.
It's all over. It's all done. They're running away. It's been secured for Triumph. 16-8, and Hate seals the deal.